Dallas Goedert in attendance at the White House yesterday with the Eagles, but will he still be a bird when the season rolls around? Some contract news that could impact the Eagles and their tight end. Plus the deadline for the Eagles to pick up Jordan Davis's fifth-year option, less than 48 hours away. What should they do? And we break down second-round pick Andrew Makuba and what makes him a perfect fit for Vic Fangio's system. And with that, welcome into Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL, along with Barrett Brooks. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan, and the NFL news cycle never stops, never sleeps. We know this. Fresh off draft weekend when so much went on, a big deal handed out today that could impact the Eagles. 49ers six-time Pro Bowl tight end George Kittle has signed a 4-year, $76.4 million contract extension. That includes $40 million guaranteed, as he told the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. Kittle is now the highest paid tight end in the NFL. And Barry, he is a cornerstone in the Niners organization. Deserves this money, but this is setting the tone for some tight ends here.
Well, absolutely. But he is the best tight end in the NFL right now. So, I mean, it's really not an argument on whether he deserves that money or not. He deserves it because he's the man. So at this point, he has set the bar. This is where it is. Where does Goedert stay around here? Well, I will say this. He's a lot more healthier than Goedert. But, hey, production, I don't know, man. I didn't see anybody that had more production than Goedert, this last, during the playoffs.
Especially the playoffs, around the same age as well. So what will the Eagles do with Dallas Goedert? Here's what Howie Roseman had to say this weekend.
Dallas is part of the team, as we speak. Obviously, as we go forward, we're going to continue to address things on this team, and right now, nothing further.
Well, it doesn't sound exactly stable there for Dallas Goedert in his future, as it's time now for our 3-point stance presented by Toyota. Number one, Dallas Goedert is going to want a new deal. The Eagles probably don't want to pay him the $14.5 million he's owed this year, but Goedert is likely eyeing a long-term deal, especially in the wake of that George Kittle contract we just talked about. Kittle, a better player overall, but 32 years old. This seems like a case of Barrett who blinks first, but the Eagles not drafting a tight end tells me a lot that they still see maybe a future here.
They do see a future here, but we got to look at this situation. I mean, talking about the top tight ends in the league, I mean, there's a lot of discrepancy between where you pay those guys, and I think Dallas is right in between Kelsey and Hawkinson as far as who he is. When he's healthy and has his production, he's right there. But you see Trey McBride, he's a better player than Trey. I will say that. But, Travis Kelsey may still have something left in his toolbox. But, I love Dallas. But it's what have you done for me lately? Well, he just won a Super Bowl. But can he consistently be on the field? That's the problem, When he's on the field, he has great production, But, 21, he had 830 yards, 22, 702 yards. 23, he had 596. And then 24, he had 496. Of course, we're not counting we had when he was in the playoffs. When we were in the playoffs, it was amazing. He had 17 receptions, 215 yards, and a touchdown. And that's in 4 games. He can go out there and give you great, great, great play. But he's always in the tub, for at least 4 to 5 games a year. And that's where the discrepancy is.
Right. I think the Eagles as a whole have to look at what they want from this position, right? Because if you didn't spend a high draft pick on it, maybe it is tight end by committee and you don't keep Dallas Goedert. They have to figure out, I think, how they want to utilize the tight end in this offense.
Well, in this offense, he is the number 3 target. When he's healthy, he is the number 3 option. You got AJ, then and you got Smitty, and then it's Dallas Goedert. So it's not really a question on how he fits in the offense. We know he gets the ball when he's on the field. If he's dressing and he's on the field, he's going to get the ball. But when he's dressing,
yes,
that's it.
That is the key to this equation, that's for sure. And sticking here with new contracts, number 2, the Eagles should pick up Jordan Davis's 5th-year option. The Birds have until May 1st to make the decision, which would guarantee Davis a salary of nearly $13 million for the 2026 season. Howie Roseman was asked about it Saturday night and kind of sidestepped the question, but did say he has a lot of faith in Jordan Davis. Will they pick it up is the question. Barrett, this seems like a good option. I think Jordan Davis as a whole, the verdict's still out on what he's going to be here in Philadelphia.
It is still out because we're looking at production, but we can't look at the production like he's Carter. We got to look at production like he's Davis. He is a nose guard. He is a guy that you ask to stop the run. First and second down, he's been pretty good, but he has to get more numbers. When you're opposite of Jalen Carter, those numbers have to be a lot better than what they are. Can he get to that level? We'll see. So I know how the Eagles are thinking right now. They're like, all right, will his production be for us to go ahead and sign him and know that he's going to be a future star like Jalen Carter. That's what we're looking at. Can he, move the crowd? Can he move the meter like Jalen Carter can? He's not going to be that type of guy. But, I mean, you're not going to find a guy like 6'6", 336 pounds, and can move like he runs. He showed some in the Super Bowl, got a sack. He's a very good player, when you're asking him to do what Davis does and not what Jalen Carter does.
Right, and not the same player, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now to number 3, the Eagles are spending all of their draft picks on defense. This year, the first 5 picks all came on the defensive side of the ball. And check this out. Since 2022, in the first 3 rounds, the Eagles have taken 10 defensive players. That includes all 5 first-round picks used on defense. They've only taken 2 offensive players, Cam Jurgens and Tyler Steens. This kind of goes to show the equation here is you pay for your offense, you pay big money in free agency, and you draft your defense. So far, so good.
Yeah, and it's allowed them to really, go out there after you pay your quarterback to have the money to go out there and have a defense that's pretty good. They haven't paid a lot of these players on offense because it was like, by committee for a long time, using free agents for the most part rather than using draft picks to bring players on this team. But I think they've changed their philosophy. They're using guys now that they can, bring up through the ranks, that they can teach them their system and they can become Philadelphia Eagles. There was a lot of time where we had linebackers from other, schemes, they just really didn't fit in on what we wanted here in Philadelphia. Well, now we have a great defensive coordinator that really teaches these young guys how to play. Vic is put in a position now that he can help these young guys, mold these young guys, and they're quality guys, so that we'll pay our guys instead of paying somebody else's, I'm not going to say, garbage or anything, pay somebody else's, players that they have. So we're bringing them up through the system. Now, we're going to have to do it this way because there's so many players on the offensive side of the ball that have gotten paid.
Right.
So, it equals out now. It's perfect right now. You pay your quarterback, you pay the offensive side of the ball. Now you got to bring these young guys, draft these young guys, and they have to become stars. Now they're becoming stars. Now they'll stay on our team.
Right, and I think it's going to be interesting how the tide shifts, especially when it's this next wave of guys on defense that need to get paid, like the Jalen Carter. We're expecting a big-time contract, but it kind of fits the mold perfectly for the Eagles because Vic Fangio has said, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to stay a defensive corner.
Yes.
There's been so much turnover on the offensive side of the ball, coaching-wise. It's hard to draft high-caliber players and not know who your coaching system's going to be.
But when you have, they pick right. 6 years prior, they had great draft picks by drafting Jordan Mailata, him working, Lane Johnson, paying your quarterback, Hurts is playing at a high level, That's when you can do that when those guys go up through your system and they're exactly who you want in this Philadelphia way type of situation. This is Philadelphia way.
It is all working out as of now, and that's time for the playbook presented by Supercuts. When we come back, a closer look at second-round pick Andrew Makuba and how he'll fit in this Eagles defense. Plus, the Giants had perhaps the most interesting draft weekend. We'll take a look at their haul, and Josh Harris finally gets his new building. It's just not here in Philadelphia. Look at the Commanders' new stadium set to open in 2030. This is Birds Huddle presented by Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL.
This is Howie Roseman from the Eagles.
Hey, how you doing?
You ready to come to Philly?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to pick you with this pick. Congratulations.
Man, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
Looking forward to chatting with you tomorrow a little bit more, but go enjoy this night. We couldn't be more excited. Let's go, man, all right?
No doubt, man. Let's do it.
Andrew, congratulations, man. We're patient the whole round, waiting for you, and we got you.
Nah, y'all got the best on for sure. For sure.
You're going to play for a great team.
The Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles select. Yes, sir, baby.
Always the coolest moments, and especially that one. Eagles' second-round pick, Andrew Makuba, and he was selected 64th overall on Friday night, the final pick of round 2 in the Texas safety. A bit undersized, but definitely still packs a punch. Take a look at his profile here. 5'11", 186 pounds. Clemson transfer, produced last year, picking off 5 passes, which was tied for 4th most in the country. This guy's a ball hawk. Tested really well at the combine, running a 4.45 in the 40-yard dash. Barrett, you think really high of these draft picks, and to me, this is his job to lose a starting safety position along Reed Blankenship. When you draft a safety this high in the draft.
Well, absolutely. You talk about a guy that fits perfectly what you want. I mean, you have already Reed Blankenship. Really good player, but I think of him as a box safety, a guy that's going to be around the box, be around the line of scrimmage. This will allow him to unleash what he, has been able to do for a long time because he can go make plays inside the box. Now that you have a safety that's a free safety to go back and be that ball hawk, be a guy that you can go around and make sure that you don't get beat over the top. Now you can be more open with what you do with Reed Blankenship. It's only going to make him a better player. And I love the fact that, Makuba is one of those feisty guys. Because when I watch him on film this week, this is what I think he's going to be. Two high safety, he's going to be that deep safety. The last line of defense, what does he do? You try to throw it over the top, he goes and picks it. You want players like that. You actually want players like this. Here he is right here. They want to get a first down. There's the first down marker right here. His feet are at the marker right here. So what does he do? He sees the slant, breaks on the slant, goes and makes the play. That's what you do. But, he can't go up and be one of those guys who can come and hit you in the mouth. Here he is up here. He's responsible for the run. He sees offensive lineman start running around. You see a blocker come. He comes up, makes the tackle right here. Tackle for loss. But this is what I love the most. His evaluation. He's the safety right here. He goes up, checks his responsibility. But, I seen him run this play before. Let me get back. I'm going to hustle back, get back, and I'm going to go pick it. He's that good of an athlete. I saw a lot of safeties in my day. I played with great safeties in my day, Brian Dawkins, and he reminds me a lot of Troy Polamalu. Troy would see something happening, and he's supposed to be down here. He would leave right on the line of scrimmage and be back in deep thirds because he was that good of an athlete. I think he's that good of an athlete. And I'm not saying, no, he's not going to be a Troy Polamalu. I'm not saying that.
That's high praise.
What I'm saying is you just saw the play. He came up, saw what's going on, and was able to get back and go make a play. You want guys that make plays, and Makuba's definitely a guy that can go do that.
Yeah, really quick to react. You definitely see that on film. That first step is impressive. And Makuba spent his first 3 seasons at Clemson before transferring his final year at Texas, and here he is on how he grew last season.
I feel like my maturity was the main thing. I feel like I matured a lot. My game matured. My knowledge got better. So I feel like I've learned a lot with my time. I've gained a lot of knowledge for the game of football. So just being able to have those conversations with the coaches and being able to kind of, break down film or, answer certain questions that they want to know about or what somebody else is doing. Those sort of things, I feel like, I grew a lot in those areas, and then I was able to show that, during this process.
Maturing there his senior year, and he also mentioned he likes to watch smaller safeties like Buda Baker and Brian Branch in the NFL, and if he's anything like them, all right. Sold. The Eagles got a steal here.
No question, but he does have that ability, but like I said, I want to play like a guy like Bob Sanders, Indianapolis, great player, come up and hit you, rock you, knock your head off, but you got to understand there's limitations of doing that. You can't be that small guy that want to come up and knock people's heads off. Just get the job done. Go up and make the tackle. Don't put your body in risk. I know you want to make sure they want to think they can go catch balls around your area, but hey, this is a good pick for us. Like I said, that's our starting safety. You know what I'm saying? He's the free safety. He's the guy that's going to roam around. Last line of defense. Let him be out there. Let Reed go up and make those hits. Reed can go up there and be a functional guy inside the box doing whatever you need to do. Covering tight ends, covering running backs, coming down, laying a hit, stopping those speed screens. He can do all that stuff. Reed Blankenship will now open up the rest of his game because he now has a guy to be that deep safety.
Right, and it's interesting if this all works out as it should be going according to plan. When you spend a second-round pick, most likely Sidney Brown is going to be the odd man out in this equation. Drafted 66 picks just 2 years ago. He wanted to take over that safety position. We weren't sure. Granted, he hasn't been given the opportunity to do so, but to me, Barrett, I never trusted that situation. To me, Sidney Brown, a great special teams player, a great guy that you can trust to go in, but starting caliber for years to come, I never trusted that.
Well, I mean, he can go out there, and this is what I want, that competition right there. We're talking an intense guy. I mean, he doesn't have the oily hips that you want, sort of change the direction. But if he can go out and study, get his game to a level where he sees things come before they come, he'll lay the head on you. He can play the game fast. He's one of those guys you can keep from going there. But then if you want to run like a dime position, he can come in as that dime linebacker / safety guy that can go play a guy in the slot. He's a good enough athlete to do that, fast enough to do that. He does have ball skills. Oh, did he drop that one right there?
He heard you.
But yeah, but I mean, I love the way this kid plays. I love his attitude. I love his intensity, the way he does stuff. But sometimes you got to slow down. Have the game slow down around you. You know what I'm saying? Look, evaluate what's going on, and then don't go make a play. Sometimes he overruns plays a little bit. Just slow it down a little bit so you can evaluate what's going on in front of you. Then you can go make a play. I'm not counting him out.
Yeah.
So I love this competition. great competition here in camp. That's where I'll be watching this year. I'm usually watching the line. I'm watching that safety position. That's going to be my number one watch right now and going into camp.
A job up for grabs.